People have been discussing the possibility of the Equalizer 4, and there have been hints that it might happen. However, it seems unlikely that Denzel Washington will come back for the movie based on recent updates. Here's what we know about it so far. The potential for The Equalizer 4 has stirred excitement, but recent hints of a prequel and the use of de-aging technology for Denzel Washington's character, Robert McCall, raise questions about the franchise's direction. Denzel has been the face of Sony's Equalizer series since its inception in 2014, and it appears that The Equalizer 3 marks the conclusion of both McCall's story and Washington's portrayal of the character. Despite this, director Antoine Fuqua has introduced the idea of a prequel involving de-aging technology to keep Denzel in the franchise. The interest in extending the Equalizer series is understandable, given its success at the box office and its status as Denzel Washington's sole franchise. The desire to explore new avenues for the character is evident, as reflected in the discussions around a potential prequel. However, relying on de-aging technology to maintain Denzel's presence in The Equalizer 4 might not be the optimal solution for the franchise's continuity. While the use of de-aging technology is becoming more common in Hollywood, it raises concerns about the authenticity and longevity of the character's portrayal. Instead of relying on a prequel or de-aging, exploring a new chapter in the Equalizer universe, potentially with a fresh character or a different perspective, could provide a more organic and captivating continuation. Considering de-aging Denzel for Equalizer 4 might not be as foolproof as it seems, given the complications that can arise with this technology. While there are successful examples of de-aging in movies, there's an equal risk of it not working seamlessly. One potential challenge is that de-aged characters in action movies often move and feel older than their appearance suggests. This disconnection was evident in cases like Samuel L. Jackson's de-aged Nick Fury in Captain Marvel and Robert De Niro's de-aged character in The Irishman. If Equalizer 4 intends to showcase a younger Robert McCall in action, similar issues may arise. A more viable and intriguing option for Equalizer 4 could be recasting Denzel with his son, John David Washington. The physical resemblance between father and son is striking, allowing John David to convincingly portray a younger Robert McCall without the need for de-aging technology. Given John David Washington's experience in action films like Tenet and The Creator, he could seamlessly step into his father's shoes and become the fresh face of the Equalizer franchise. Recasting Denzel with John David offers Equalizer 4 a chance to rejuvenate the series and present a new perspective on the character. Even though the movie might be set in the 1990s or early 2000s, John David Washington can bring a contemporary and dynamic interpretation to a character audiences believe they already know well. Additionally, the father-son dynamic could add a unique and engaging element to the franchise. While de-aging Denzel Washington remains a possibility, recasting with John David Washington presents an appealing alternative. The conclusion of The Equalizer 3 presents an intriguing scenario for Denzel Washington's character, McCall, leaving the possibility open for a fourth installment. The movie begins with McCall, a former DIA officer, sustaining injuries while eliminating a Sicilian mob base. He seeks refuge in the coastal village of Altamonte, where the locals nurse him back to health and accept him as one of their own. However, when the mafia group, the Camorra, threatens the village, McCall is compelled to retaliate to protect the residents. A parallel storyline involves McCall assisting CIA agent Emma Collins, providing her with intel on designer drugs trafficked from the raided mob base. Uncovering a connection between the Camorra and terrorists, McCall, after eliminating the mafia chief's brother, faces a climactic confrontation with Vincent, the head of the Camorra. The movie concludes with McCall triumphing over Vincent and his men in a forceful home invasion. Despite Collins' injuries, she receives a promotion, and McCall, seemingly finding solace, chooses to remain in the village. The ending sets the stage for potential future developments in McCall's story. In The Equalizer 3, Denzel's character faces danger throughout the whole action movie. However, McCall doesn't die by the end of the movie. In the beginning, he gets shot in the back, making it seem like he might not make it, but a local person operates on him, and McCall recovers. The movie decides to keep the hero alive to give him a happy ending or leave room for a possible sequel, instead of having him die like some other characters in The Equalizer 3. The film explores the idea that people end up where they are meant to be, and by the end, McCall seems to have found his place. The The storyline takes a darker turn for the character, still affected by the death of his best friend Susan and betrayal by former colleagues. McCall becomes more ruthless and brutal in dealing with enemies, seeking revenge. However, he rediscovers his humanity when a village takes him in and shows kindness. After confronting and defeating Vincent, the leader of the Camorra, McCall returns to Altamonte and is last seen happily participating in a village celebration. By giving his black book to Collins, it seems McCall has truly left behind his vigilante life. The conclusion of The Equalizer 3 doesn't suggest a sequel, and if it is the last movie in the series, it provides a positive ending for the character. The start of The Equalizer 3 is a bit like a scary movie, where Robert McCall goes on a mission. A mob boss returns home to find his place filled with the bodies of his men. McCall easily defeats the remaining henchmen in a cellar. Before this, McCall suggests he's there because they took something that didn't belong to them, and he's seen with a mysterious backpack. It's only at the end that he tells Collins what's inside. McCall reveals that the mob stronghold was involved in cybercrime and stole the pension of a retired man named Greg Dyer in Boston. McCall had given Greg a ride in a lift before, and he came to Italy to return the $360,000 to him. Collins is puzzled as to why McCall would go to such lengths for a stranger. However, when she hands over the bag and sees the happiness it brings to Greg and his wife, she understands McCall's actions. In The Equalizer 3, the villains, known as the Camorra, are portrayed as very evil and cruel. They commit horrible crimes, such as hanging an old man from a window and cutting off a subordinate's hand. They extort money from the businesses in Altamonte. However, their leader Vincent has bigger plans for the village. He wants to develop resorts and casinos for tourists, which means displacing the local population. Despite the kindness McCall experiences from the people, he is determined to prevent Vincent from carrying out his destructive plans. Additionally, there's a significant subplot involving CIA agent Emma Collins investigating drug shipments disguised as wine bottles. These shipments contain an amphetamine known as the jihad drug, which is sold by Syrian terrorists to fund their activities. The Camorra, the main villains, are revealed to be purchasing this drug, directly supporting terrorism. This prompts McCall to involve the CIA and take action against the Camorra. In the end, McCall administers a fatal dose of the jihad drug to Vincent, the Camorra chief, making him pay for his crimes. Another revelation in the film involves Collins being the daughter of Susan and Brian, who were close friends of McCall. The mystery of why McCall helps Collins is solved in the final scene when he gifts her his black book, indicating that her mother, Susan Plummer, would be proud. This revelation adds a personal touch to McCall's actions, showing that he sees Collins as a mentee and is guiding her to follow in her mother's footsteps as a skilled CIA agent. It also hints at McCall's readiness to retire from his vigilante activities. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.